one kid. I say kid because he's so much younger than me, but he absorbed everything we're talking about. And one day I realized he got it when he said this to me. He goes, I used to think my job was to be the MVP of our company, which isn't wrong. When you show up, if you're the MVP, you're adding value, you're really pushing things forward. But as you move into higher roles and he become the manager of a marketing team and building a team around me, he goes, I finally get it. My job is not to be the MVP. My job is to be the person who creates more MVPs. Now think about that for a second. That's an incredible place to be when you have a company where your managers are truly leading and they understand their job is not just to execute and to be better than everyone else, because that can actually be demoralizing for the team, but to lift the team up, to coach the team, to have the tough conversations, to hold people accountable to what's possible.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow?
Today, I'm going to share with you two stories that represent what you're looking for in leadership across your company. These two stories come from clients, and I'm really excited about sharing them with you because they really tell a story about what is possible. The first one is a CEO of like a $10 million company is joining the kickoff meeting with the CEO from another company. Now, the meeting goes really well. There's like 10, 12 people in the room. And the CEO, who's the client, comes up to the CEO who is hosting that meeting and introduces himself. Says, hi, my name's Jeff. He goes, hi, I'm Fred. Well, Jeff didn't know who Fred was. So he was asking a question about what is your role on the team? Fred kind of smirked a little bit and said, well, actually, I'm the CEO of the company. He's like, really? I thought it was Susan. Now, for context here, Susan's the project manager. Susan had, been handed the account from sales, and she had picked it up and was running the kickoff meeting and running it like a pro. So much so that when Fred, the CEO of the company, joined the meeting, he didn't even need to be there. He didn't need to weigh in. He didn't need to introduce himself. He just joined the meeting as a peer and sat in and watched this happen, watched it unfold, if you will. And the client CEO was so surprised because he noticed that he goes, I thought someone else was the CEO. I apologize. He goes, you don't need to apologize. Now, stepping back away from this story, what really is going on here is Frank, the CEO of this company, has created and empowered his team in such a way that they feel confident enough to just run the meeting the way it's supposed to be run. They don't need authority. They don't need to introduce the CEO. And he stepped back and realized he'd done something right. He had created a culture of empowerment and accountability. And this culture was self-expanding. This one story is what you're looking for inside your company, that you don't have to exert your authority, your title. You can just show up to the meetings, you can watch over things, and they run smoothly. And then when you're not there, you can rest assured that things are running smoothly. They're operating in a way that you want to see them operated. They're taking care of the client. This story represents freedom to me. Now, it not only represents freedom, because if you understand the valuations of companies, then you understand that your company should run by itself, because if you are on the front line of your business and you are driving forward, it will reduce your value and it will become a concern or a risk inside of that future purchase, and your earnout will be much longer. But if your team runs smoothly by itself, the culture is self-expanding. That one story is what you're looking for inside your own leadership. Now, my name is Gene Hammett. I'm an executive coach, and I help companies that are growing fast maintain that kind of growth through the chaos, through the challenges, because it's always there. Every time I'm talking to my clients, there's something happening. And it's not because they've done anything wrong. It's because when you're working with people and you're adding people to the mix, it takes a lot of leadership and a focus and intention on a culture to get everything right. And it takes time. And you may not ever get to what I described in the first story. So let's talk about the second story. The second story inside these vignettes of leadership is when I was working with the client who was a key man. Now, to set this up, the CEO of the company had talked to me about how his organization was running, and we knew each other from some coaching we had done in years past. And he said, it's time for me to invest in a key person in my account. And I said, well, what's on your mind? He goes, well, As you know, I'm the CEO. I also operate as the CMO, kind of the director of marketing, and really kind of a manager of marketing. And I got a team underneath me of tacticians. What I want to do is select one of the people that have been with me the longest and invest in them and see if they can be a manager and eventually a leader. And I work with this young individual and just an incredible, company to work with. They're growing fast. And this one kid, I say kid because he's so much younger than me, but he absorbed everything we're talking about. And one day I realized he got it when he said this to me. He goes, I used to think my job was to be the MVP of our company, which isn't wrong. When you show up, if you're the MVP, you're adding value, you're really pushing things forward. But as you move into higher roles and he become the manager of a marketing team and building a team around me, he goes, I finally get it. My job is not to be the MVP. My job is to be the person who creates more MVPs. Now think about that for a second. That's an incredible place to be when you have a company where your managers are truly leading and they understand their job is not just to execute and to be better than everyone else, because that can actually be demoralizing for the team, but to lift the team up, to coach the team, to have the tough conversations, to hold people accountable to what's possible. These are two examples of leadership that I wanted to share with you because that's exactly what we do for companies. Now, if you're interested in the work we do, and if there's something we can help you with, maybe there's a challenge that you're facing with your executive team, maybe you as a CEO aren't sure how to use your time, or the third version is you have a key person on your team that you want to lift up to the next level. You want them to be the leader of the team. And that's where we come in. We'd be happy to help you. We've got a lot of tools to share with you. Just reach out to us. You can check out some of those tools at genehammett.com. Our core business is coreelevation.com. I know that's a lot to throw at you, but when you think of leadership and you think of growth think Growth Think Tank. As always, lead with courage. We'll see you next time.